This is Blenderstyle, the show where we discuss a blend of heavy and extreme music. In this episode, Offspring, Ixnay on the Hombre. This one came out in '97 on Columbia Records.
Okay.
Cheers, Jared. All right, Casey, you picked this album. What's your familiarity with Offspring and Ixnay on the Hombre?
So I remember this album being so freaking amazing when I was a kid. And then I was listening to it now, and it's not as amazing as I remember. Kind of like a lot of things when I was a kid.
Right?
Yeah.
Stuff that just doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
But you've always been familiar with Offspring.
Yeah. I've been familiar with Offspring for a while.
For me, I got started at Smash.
Yeah, and that's where I got started.
Before
I think you and me both got started around the same time with that album.
That was like '94. I was very familiar with Smash. I bought the CD. I loved it. But when this came around, one of the leading singles was Gone Away.
Yeah.
And it was too sissy for me. I just was getting into like Cannibal Corpse, and I did not want anything to do with anything that wasn't brutally heavy.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck off.
So I got into this before the single came out. And I think the single ruined the album for me. After that, I was like, you know what, this isn't that great.
Really?
Yeah, me as a teen ink, same thing. Like Gone Away, I was just like, which is probably one of their best songs of all time now. But at the time, I was like, this is like Metallica was doing ballads on the Black Album and stuff, and I just didn't want any part of it. So I just never checked it out until now.
Nice. Yeah, I never liked Gone Away.
Did you listen to Offspring, Nate?
Oh, yeah, I've always listened. Ever since I was a younger kid.
Yeah.
I've seen Self-Esteem, the video.
Well, you're into punk, right? So this is...
it's punk.
But this is like radio punk.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Trendy punk.
In the 90s, you know what I mean? You had bands like Green Day, you know what I mean? That's kind of what was popular at the time.
Well, let's talk about what the sound is then. It's, I wrote SoCal skate / surf pop punk.
I would say it's definitely a LA.
Yeah, I see the SoCal part. I don't see the surf part.
So you can...
Maybe the bleached hair makes it surf.
Dexter sounds like a blonde kid from Southern California, like his vocals.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, even Noodle's guitar riff, I mean, it's pretty surfy, kind of almost sounding.
Yeah.
That's why I say, like, it's got an LA
But this album was more of a grindy guitar than even Smash.
I feel like this is especially some songs, this is a rock.
Yeah, so
it's
I
more
could
rock
see the
than punk.
surf vibe on Smash, because like you said, some of the guitar stuff, it's like kind of almost a poppy violin style thing going on, the chord progression, but on this one, it's a lot of, like you said, like a lot more rock influenced.
There's definitely a punk feel to this. Like if you put horns on it, it becomes ska immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
So it's like fun, like bubbly, like poppy. It's very accessible. Like your parents can listen to this. Anyone's parents can listen to this. This is very easy to get into.
Yeah. So like I think, there's a couple tracks on there that I actually got like a Jane's Addiction vibe.
Oh, okay.
And me and my lady.
Oh yeah.
Like and then
I can see that.
What is that? The I Choose, I think it was. It kind of has those are the more rocky sounding ones. And then like I went and I looked up this album, and literally the producer that's on like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Jane's Addiction, like did this album.
Really?
So like I totally got the vibe of Jane's Addiction on some of the stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? That is so weird.
That's pretty good that you picked up on that and then researched it, and you're like, oh, it really does.
Oh, the first track. So there's a couple like interlude tracks. There's a disclaimer at the beginning.
I think that's Jello Biafra.
I was like, that sounds exactly like Jello. It is.
Oh, okay.
And coincidentally, Dexter did some humanitarian work with Jello. So I don't know if that's their connection.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You know what's also cool about the name, Ixnay on the Hombre, it's Pig Latin and Spanish to pretty much mean,
three languages in one.
To just be, fuck the man.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
exactly.
what that means.
It translates
that's pretty
much
tight.
just like fuck the man. Down with the man.
They actually came and they recorded this. It was their first one off of Epitaph.
Yes, so there was a big thing that happened when they left and went to Columbia.
So Smash was the album before this. It was on Epitaph.
Yes, and they were actually still under contract to Epitaph when they signed this.
And they actually wanted to be on Epitaph still, but the guy again from what's his name, Brett from Bad Religion.
So the guy from Bad Religion shopped their stuff around and tried to sell it to another label for profit on himself and not kick back to the band.
Exactly.
Oh.
Some fucked up shit. Now that we've like been doing this, I've heard a couple things about this guy from Bad Religion, Epitaph guy, being a dick.
Yeah, and
being worse than like a fucking sold out big, you know what I mean?
big record label.
What do you guys like about it?
So I liked the kind of more rock vibe that they did on it. Like, so if you listen to like the early Offspring stuff, like the Ignition and was it their first title or their self, the black one? There's a lot of like, it's really, really, really punk. I mean, it's straight punk. And then Smash, they kind of went kind of a punk meets kind of rock kind of vibe thing going on. And then this one, they kind of went more towards the rock side of things. They still had that punk vibe, but it was probably their most rock kind of influenced at the time. And I think you even catch it like on that little hidden track at the very end of it where the little, you guys should try heavy metal, kiss my ass, ha ha. Because people are like, well, you're going kind of a rock vibe. And
there's a pop element to this as well.
There really is.
Well, they were trying to write some singles on some of these.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they want, after the success that Smash had, they were like, wait a minute. Let's cash in on that and really like make some money on it. It feels.
Do you think Columbia threw some money at it too?
Yeah, because I know that Smash, they said they did it on a budget. Like when they recorded Smash, they were like hitting up the studio like, hey, when is it like empty? Like getting in as whenever they could.
Yeah,
for the cheapest way.
There was
this was the first album.
scheduled time. It's like, hey, you guys got 10 minutes? We can come in and record.
Really?
Yeah.
There's some great songwriting on this. I really like there's some really killer tracks on this.
Noodles is a good guitar player.
He really is.
He comes up with some innovative stuff. I think Dexter.
Do you think he has like a surfer? Like, do you think he listened to the Ventures growing up and he like learned how to play that clean electric guitar?
Maybe. I know that LA sound, like, you know, the LA sound with like TSOL and like, I mean, Adolescence and stuff like that. Like those bands were highly influential on the Offspring.
But the Offspring's more like fucking Green Day, right? Which is like pop punk Bay Area status.
And it's getting more rocky. It was like just more rock.
I think at the time though, like when Smash came out, I think Green Day and them were on a completely different trajectory.
They were, and they did.
Like Green Day was really more punk.
Offspring's the better band. Long
for
term.
sure. Yeah.
Dookie might be better than Smash. That's debatable.
Yeah, Smash. I don't know. Let's not get into that.
That's a hard one.
But like that Father of All Motherfuckers album that came out is a just piece of shit garbage of an album. It's the worst Green Day thing I ever heard in my life.
Honestly, I stopped listening to Green Day after Dookie because everything after that was horrible.
No, Insomniac is a great record.
There's some good ones. Like they did those more ballad.
It wasn't until American Idiot that I got back into them, and then everything after that hasn't been great.
Yeah, after American Idiot, the shit kind of went down.
Well, and then Offspring, I didn't like the Pretty Fly for a White Guy. I thought that was gimmicky, and it turned me off, and I never
So the Offspring's always been like that, though, kind of. They've always had a one-off, weird, fucking... like they
was there on Smash, though?
No.
They started doing it on
this one. Yeah. So on this one, this was the last one I think I really got into. I think I got Americana, but I never really got into it. It was way too mainstream kind of sounding. And then I just kind of fell off the Offspring bandwagon. I haven't listened to them since, really. So coming back to this was kind of a weird...
So yeah, for me as an adult, the real emotional songs that jump out at me are Gone Away and Amazed, and they're fucking killer, bro.
You ever lose a friend that meant really something to you, especially when you're younger? And I mean, we're still young and we're losing friends, and when that happens, I mean, Gone Away is a go-to track.
See, I feel like Amazed was amazing. That song was great, but Gone Away I just can't get into.
What else did you like? Anything else about it though?
I liked Change the World. That was awesome. Continuation of the hidden track from
that was cool.
Smash, which was really cool. Kind of hear it fleshed out.
I agree, and it had like that Eastern guitar riff that he must be in love with.
Good.
He must be in love with that guitar riff because it's like on 3 places on Smash, and then he's like, "Wait, one more time."
He's got like a signature the way he plays, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and he just milks it, and he uses that in Come Out and Play too. It's like that. It's like that. It's that beachy. There's
surf, like
surfy kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and then the opening track was fucking that riff at the beginning of it was so good.
Is there anything else you guys like, or you want to talk about what we don't like?
What I liked about this album is that there is some really good punk songs on there. It's just sprinkled around with a bunch of rock, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's still got that, like, hey, I want to get on my board and skate. Some of my favorite tracks were definitely The Meaning of Life. And Mota is a badass song. It's funny. Like, he's like talks about like, oh, when I get high, Jimmy Buffett, like everything. You know what I mean? Like, and then like, Cool to Hate.
Cool to Hate sounds like it could have been on Smash.
Yeah.
It's really good. That's a
and
good
I love the whole tongue-in-cheek thing with the lyrics.
Oh, here's another we should talk about is fucking Dexter Holland, the person. He was valedictorian of his high school. He went on to get a PhD in molecular biology. He's a humanitarian, like I talked about, with his work with Jello Biafra. He's a pilot. He flies his own plane and shit.
I saw that video.
I sent that video.
Yeah, in the you sent a video of us. They're like flying and they're playing
cockpit karaoke.
Cockpit karaoke.
That is so good.
And I'm like, that
should be a show.
It's probably really expensive.
Yeah,
compared to the other car shows that are going around.
I love on the plane on the tail. It has like the anarchy sign.
So Dexter, along being a pilot and a humanitarian, he also has his own hot sauce company called Gringo Bandito. We have a few bottles here. We're going to do a taste test after this. But it's actually fucking really good sauce.
I've never even heard about it until you guys told me that.
No, that's great. I have 2 bottles that are like this much left in it. I use it all the time.
It's great on pizza. You like it on Scrambies?
The green sauce on the Scrambies.
What do you guys dislike about Ixnay on the Hombre?
I disliked that song.
Gone Away?
Gone Away.
You don't like Gone Away?
Track that you just...
That's probably Offspring's best song all time.
Oh God, I just don't like it. And you know what it is? I just think it's his vocals on that.
Oh, he's killing
They're so forward on that. They kind of put everything to the back, and it's like you're just listening to him singing, and it gets raw at times.
I think it's an emotional song, and I think he kind of pulls it off.
I see what you're saying though. Like the vocals are really high in the mix, kind of.
And it just bugs me. Like that's like that whole trendy thing. Like a lot of the
like he's in your face with it.
Yeah, like that's like this trend that happened in the early 2000s where all these bands would put out music and their vocals were so heavy, like really forward, and you didn't get to hear the musicianship. And it's like, no, you're a band because you're musicians, not because of the singer. The singer doesn't bring anything to the fucking band. The musicians are the band.
I would definitely agree with you in like early 2000s and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it had to do with like also the recording of things.
Maybe.
But also I agree that for some reason musicianship got like...
pushed to the back.
Well, just not noticed because like it just... I don't know.
It was the worst thing to happen to music. When pop bands started making music and they had no like technical skills, but they figured out the formula to sell records.
They figured out they could just do it on their computer at home.
And then just garbage music ensues. And this machine of garbage music picks up good bands and recycles them into shitty bands.
Yep.
Paramore, right? Good band that had like a kind of punky like...
The drumming in that too is just spot on.
And then they kick out everyone except Homegirl, Haley, whatever the fuck her name is, and they make it a pop band. I'm like, you fucked it up. Yeah. Paramore was good.
Dude, No Doubt was good.
Honestly...
Exactly. I'm glad she went to Gwen Stefani, because calling that shit No Doubt was a slap in the face.
Yeah, if she would have carried on as No Doubt, that would have been horrible.
I'll tell you something I disliked about this album is some of the silly, stupid tracks we were talking about.
Like the intro and all that.
The intro's fine. It's a waste of time, right? I don't need a disclaimer that says, "Hey, I'm Jello Biafra." I'm like, skip. No one's listening.
Which is also a reoccurring thing for Offspring. They always have like an intro
didn't
thing.
Smash.
There's always like an interlude thing.
Yeah, the intermission thing was stupid.
It's like, just shut the fuck up.
But on Me and My Old Lady, they're like,
that was pretty funny.
"We suck each other dry." I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah, dude. Me and My Old Lady is one of the worst tracks, and that's the one that reminds me of Jane's Addiction. And it's like, I like Jane's Addiction.
I don't like Jane's Addiction.
I like Jane's Addiction.
They're so good.
Been caught stealing? I wish I couldn't hear that anymore.
You only got caught once.
That's funny though.
The interlude, the intermission, it just doesn't add value. It's a waste of fucking space, waste of time.
It is.
It's not Smash.
It isn't.
It's nowhere. I love Smash. I'm not a big punk or anything kind of fan, and I don't usually get into music like this. This is good, but it doesn't hold up to Smash for me.
So I definitely hate Me and My Old Lady. And I choose the 2 tracks that I was talking about.
You guys can go to therapy for that.
Yeah.
If you have an issue with you and your old lady, you can talk it.
Dude, man, she's got issues.
We can talk about it here.
And you're going to pay?
So I honestly think Smash was great. This isn't Smash. I agree. but there's great tracks on it, but there's a lot of filler, a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be there. And I also think Americana was better than Ixnay on the Hombre, me personally.
So yeah, there's that like Smash was 100% a good album.
Oh yeah. Ignition was a 100% good album.
Ignition the same way. The self-titled same way. This one was maybe 55% good tracks and the rest just filler. It's like it was almost like a phoned in kind of, hey, let's ride the coattails of what we accomplished on Smash and see how far it could take us. And I would have to go back and listen to Americana. I never gave it a chance because this one just kind of turned me off. But you might be right. It might be a better album.
Well, because you got to think the singles for Americana were like pretty fly.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like,
and
that
it was like
horrible.
Issues and stuff. And they always have those like, okay, so I think the Offspring does like punk albums and sprinkles in pop little single things because I think they honestly enjoy doing it too.
Oh yeah,
I think they enjoy playing.
This is genuine.
They're not doing it to sell records.
They're not selling out. They like making this accessible music. I agree.
I don't like them making this type of music.
Yeah, exactly. Especially after such good stuff in their early years.
Yeah.
You're like, really, guys? I mean,
if you think about it, they only had three really good records.
True.
Because I would even say that the self-titled, the Offspring, the first one, has a little bit of filler too.
I can't think of what it has that's filler.
I didn't get in. I know everyone's like, you gotta listen to Ignition.
Ignition's probably their best one.
I don't give a shit.
Kick 'em eyes down.
I don't do it.
Fuck, man.
Casey, what'd you give this as far as ratings?
So I rated this at a 3.1.
Okay.
And pretty much the same thing we were just talking about. This isn't Smash. This isn't Ignition. Those were way better outings. It does good. It doesn't hold up to what my expectations were or what I remember when I was a kid. I remember this being so amazing. I think Madeline got this for me.
Who's Madeline?
Just some chick.
Oh.
When we were kids. And it was pretty, like, I was like, this is the best album ever. And then I listened to it back for this. I was like, man, this isn't the best album ever. This isn't even close.
And would you give it a 3.2?
3.1.
3.1, okay.
Yeah. What'd you give it, Nate?
Okay, so I agree with you. There's a lot of really good Offspring, and there's a lot of like bad Offspring and stuff. So it was really hard for me to judge this album as an album.
Okay.
Like I wanted to judge it in the discography of Offspring, and really I should be just reviewing
On
the
its
album.
own, yeah.
For the most part, it's a pretty decent listening for me, and I'll listen again, and I give it a 3.5. There's a lot of good stuff that I like on it, and there's a little bit of bad stuff. So
3.5 from Nate. Nice.
Yeah, 3.5 for sure.
I give it a 3.1 as well. There's some good tracks on it, mostly filler. I'm not going to come back and listen to the album, but
You'll listen to Gone Away.
I'll listen to Gone Away. I'll listen to Amazed. And if someone's spinning this, like if I come to your house, Casey, and you're playing this.
I won't be.
So what you're saying is you'll have the sauce more than you'll listen to Ixnay on the Hombre.
Yeah, the sauce is way better than
the sauce is daily. Ixnay on the Hombre is never again.
Never again. This is Blenderstyle. That was Offspring, Ixnay on the Hombre. Please blend responsibly.